In Super Mario Kart, there are 8 playable characters that are divided into 4 unique weight classes. According to the game's manual, these weight classes are called the Small Guys, the Showdown, the Bros, and the Dragon and the Lady. The Small Guys consist of Toad and Koopa Troopa as a lightweight class with great acceleration and handling, but lackluster top speed and weight. This combination is great for those just starting out and getting used to the functionality of the game. Bowser and Donkey Kong Jr. make up the Showdown weight class, with a healthy amount of top speed and weight, with below average handling and acceleration. These characteristics are built for high level play, and for those looking to be the kart-dozing king out on the racetrack. The Bros' medium weight class of Mario and Luigi has the most balanced selection on offer, with the middle of the road handling, weight, and acceleration, and above average top speed. For those looking for a no-compromise Super Mario Kart experience, look no further. The fourth weight class, known as the Dragon and the Lady, is a bit unique. The kart stats that of both Peach and Yoshi have a combination of the other 3 weight classes, in very high acceleration, average weight and top speed, but with very low handling. If you ever want to fuse the traits found in the light, medium, and heavyweight classes, you have that covered here in Super Mario Kart. In my opinion, there is no best class among these 4. Each of them clearly shows their strengths and weaknesses. With the lightweight class, you benefit in the form of mobility, with swift acceleration and handling, but you will struggle to keep up with other racers with greater top speed, much less prevent yourself from being punted off the tracks from the likes of Bowser and Donkey Kong Jr. The medium weight class with all-around stats may seem like the safest bet for avoiding cons, but it's the lack of speciality from Mario and Luigi's karts where you find yourself being bested by others in just about any given scenario possible. Having excellent top speed and weight may sound like a match made in heaven when you are racing as either Donkey Kong Jr. or Bowser, but they will do you as good for as long as you can keep up the string of the top speed going. Without the benefits of acceleration, you'll find a considerably long time to get up to speed, and by that time, you'll find the majority of the other racers already in front of you. The mixed bag characteristics in Peach and Yoshi's karts provide for some interesting pros thanks to great acceleration, top speed, and weight. However, due to very poor handling, you will find yourself wrestling with the kart for whatever traction you can muster, even if it means letting go of the gas pedal to slow down, giving up your only advantage using the kart. With all being said, it is up to you, the player, who must decide which character with which kart is best for you. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Year of Mario Kart. This is Nintendo 14. Last time here in Super Mario Kart, we raced in the Mushroom Cup as Bowser, and this time we're going to be racing as Mario in the Flower Cup. So a lot has gone on since the last video. We had a lot of information in regards to the Nintendo Switch, as well as the latest installment of Mario Kart 8 in the form of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and that will be the version of Mario Kart 8 that's going to be featured on the Switch. And I will give my details on that at the end of the video. But for right now, with me I have is the top 5 list for the things I don't like about this game. Because not all games are perfect, and I'd like to share my things that really rub me the wrong way in this game. So just don't think of this as the reason that I don't like this game at all. Just think of it as a constructive criticism. So for number 5, I have retry / game over for 5th or worse. Now what this means is that anytime during the Grand Prix, whether it be in first or in 1 player or 2 players, you finish 5th or worse, that means you are losing a life in the bottom right corner. But most importantly, if it's in single player, or worst case scenario, both the first players and second players both get 5th or worse, that means you're gonna have to redo the race that you finished poorly on, and that could pose a lot of issues. Like say, if you're trying to just play through the game casually and not have to worry about that. So it kind of means that you have to just try your best to just get at least 4th place. And so that's number 5. For number 4, I have the CPU items. Need I explain this? What this basically means is that the CPUs, each of them have individual items that they can use, and they can use it whenever they feel like it. They don't even have to run over the item boxes that you do. Instead, they can just pull items out whenever they're in the proximity of you. But the worst case scenario, the worst case of this is it comes from Peach and Toad's poison mushrooms, which means they can throw it out, and then that means you run over it and then you're shrunken, and for a even longer time. Also, if someone runs you over, then you lose even more time. And I did have this happen in me during one of the recordings, but it's not in there, just to save you guys all the time. But the result of just me being shrunken down and run over, I've lost the lead, and probably just half the time I can make up in one track. So effectively, I was pretty far behind in last place to the leader. So that's number 4. Number 3, I have the CPU rubber banding. This is when the CPUs can just catch up to you with relative ease, and this means that despite you just hitting your marks and not hitting the wall a single time during one lap, it almost feels like it's completely pointless, and races can easily be lost because of it. So there's a lot of times where I was front running, and then I got the CPU behind me, and then there's at the last corner on the last lap, you can just easily choke out and just hit the wall, and then just have the CPUs drive past you. It's a really frustrating thing to happen to you, and I lost a lot of races and sometimes even Grand Prix just because of it. And so that's number 3. Really frustrating thing that's even shows up in a couple Mario games that would come out later after this. So for number 2, I have the narrow track design. Now this is something that I could interchange between this and an entry that I have in my love section for this game. But the narrow track design, these tracks are really small, and there's a small margin of error for where you're able to drive, and it doesn't pair up too well because of the fact that it is pretty tough to pass. You can run to the back of other racers, and that can halt you at trying to pass them. And so it just makes things really difficult, and you can be hitting the walls and going into the grass, slowing you down, as well as in the Ghost Valley tracks you can hit the blocks, and then wherever you hit next time you can just fall off. That also goes to donut planes and a couple other tracks later on, these later cups, which just makes for some pretty frustrating pretty frustrating experience. That's my number 2 pick for my top 5 most things that I don't like about this game. And so my number 1 thing that I don't like about this game is the simple fact that this is the first Mario Kart ever made. Because you got about 7 other Mario Kart games that came out after this, excluding the arcade games, which I'm pretty sure they're pretty great too. But there's gonna be a lot of things that are corrected that there were an issue in this game that will be fixed in later games. So that in itself is the reason why you could prefer other Mario Kart games than this. Yeah, just bigger and better games that are gonna come out after this. And as for the age, I'd say the age of this game, it is pretty questionable. I think it could hold up pretty soon, but the more and more Mario Kart games that get released, I think it's gonna get, those Mario Kart games are gonna get buried over this one, and maybe some of the other Mario Kart games that come out real soon after this one. So yeah, that's my top 5 list of the things I don't like about Super Mario Kart. Relatively short, but I'm surprised I have a lot of time left in this video. And just so everybody knows, all of the things I listed in my list are strictly my opinion. You can agree or disagree with it. And just so you know, I'm not one to express opinions, which is a really dangerous thing to do on YouTube. But hey, I just had to get all this off my chest. Getting back into this, I'm in the Bowser's Castle 2. This is a pretty good example of the tracks just being really narrow, especially that last in that middle corner, in the middle part of the track. That's just pretty outrageous. You have to make really sharp turns in some really narrow corners just to make it. Even the CPUs have a little bit of an issue getting around there. It's really, really ridiculous. Just like with you have the hate list. How about do you have anything you like about this game? Well, I will have that in the next part, so you can stay tuned for that. So I guess I'll just fill the rest of this video with my thoughts on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that's coming out for the Switch. So I do have a lot of unannounced plans for what I'm gonna do for Mario Kart 8 back in November, December. And with more information we get for Mario Kart Deluxe, then I'll have more things that I will be planning on doing in December. And I say December because I think I'm gonna be focusing on the Mario Kart 8 that got released for the Wii U in November. And since I already did a playthrough on the Grand Prix for Mario Kart 8, I'm thinking about doing some battle mode gameplay for the playthrough for Mario Kart 8, because I barely touched the battle mode during online matches and my initial playthrough. I totally in a way just ignored that. So I think just because we got a new battle mode, a completely different battle mode in the Switch version of Mario Kart 8, then I think just because of that, then I'll go ahead and just give it a try before we go into the more superior battle mode that's going to be in the Switch version, which I'm really excited about. Also, there's a couple of more things that were announced in there too, and I'm just really excited for the reintroduction to a few items that were I guess were almost forgotten about in from previous games, which are the feather and the boo. I'm really excited to see those items back. Those are items that have been requested by fans for quite some time, and I'm really glad that those items are finally back in the game. And so there's a couple battle mode arenas in the battle mode, which I'm really excited about, because that was a really big issue about Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, is that we had to go on battle mode on the actual racetrack. So for instance, we're battling each other on Mario Circuit, which as we all know, that's totally designed for Mario Circuit's totally designed for racing and not battling. Even though you can go backwards in those tracks, which is why you're racing on them. And so what else? Also, we were getting Splatoon characters, the Inkling Boy and the Inkling Girl for Mario Kart. I really like that idea. That's probably the first my first choice for having more characters in Mario Kart 8, and just to include them and even a battle mode arena. That's also a really cool thing to have, because it fits the nature of Splatoon, where you're battling with your opponents. And so just to have a battle mode arena for Splatoon in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that's a really cool thing to have. So that's going to wrap up my quick thoughts on Nintendo Switch. I mean, there's a bunch of other things that were announced for the Switch, but I mainly want to just center it around Mario Kart, since, hey, this is what my playthroughs and my commentaries, my solo commentaries like this, are going to be centered around. So I guess I'll leave my thoughts on the rest of the things Switch related in other videos, like online multiplayer videos. So there's that. And so here we are in the final lap. I do a really good job on I get two first places in this cup, or three. Annotations correct me on that. And I got a third place finish, so I'm trying my real best to not rank out here. And so I got these three guys in front of me. Use the zipper, get past all three of them, and get that third place finish, so we can wrap up the cup and get that gold cup. All right, so really exhilarating way to end off this cup is just to clutch out and just nab those three spots for a third place finish. So we'll get the first cup with relative ease. I wish I had another way or something else to say besides relative ease, but what can you do here? So yeah, I do get gold cups. Last parts, you might think I'm just playing and then just getting whatever. Nah, I will be getting gold cups here, so don't you worry about that. And here you go, Nintendo. You can have my potential ad revenue because of the results screen. Really thankful for that. So that's going to be it. Tune next time, next Tuesday, as I race in the Star Cup. I'm going to talk about the 5 things that I like about Super Mario Kart. I'm telling you, we got to balance out the negative with the positive. So until then, I'll see you guys next week. Later.